of us, it needs to be...
Thank you for sticking with me as we highlight top 10 best scenes from Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Volume 4 is a cool video and definitely must watch till the end where we have Bumi and Aang face off. If you are watching this video, please take a second to hit the like button, it really helps us a lot. Also hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification. 1. Aang and Iroh imprisoned. Aang and Iroh are both imprisoned as the story picks up from the conclusion of episode 3, but the Earth Kingdom has completely different plans for them both. They are able to converse briefly in the interim, nevertheless, and Iroh once again shows that he is much more than just the title of General and Dragon of the West.
No gravity-defying towers. Cities are like people. That's what a century of war will do. My brother, the fire...
So you could show him this isn't the way.
On the contrary,
Where are you taking him?
heard from again. You're not as lucky.
2. Iroh tortured. Iroh, however, is met with a cruel destiny as a result of his solid reputation. He is sent to the Pit, an Earth Kingdom prison camp for detainees of war. His guards would undoubtedly torture him en route because they have lost friends and relatives as a result of his military victories. Iroh is insulted by an Earthbender guard en route to the Pit, because he is angry at Iroh for having besieged the Earth Kingdom capital of Ba Sing Se for 600 days while serving as a commander for the Fire Nation.
We got special... He had a soft heart. He was on watch. Buried. All those lives lost. Was it worth it? I can still... like what we find there. Of loss.
3. Aang meets Bumi. Aang, on the other hand, is brought to see the king, who turns out to be Bumi, his boyhood buddy who, in contrast to Aang, has been engaged in a never-ending conflict and made many difficult choices over the last 100 years. He is alternately hot and cold with Aang, at one moment reminding him of their history together and at the other pressing him to show his value as an avatar via a series of challenges. The stress of this has driven him slightly insane.
How are you still alive?
Not still alive. I'm still a story. Told you to put pine bark in. Throw.
4. Katara vs. Jet. Once more, Katara and Jet discuss Jet's plan to blow up Sai and King Bumi. She abandons him after freezing him to a wooden stand.
That's what it means to...
Forgotten what you're fighting for. Fighting for anything you love, you're fighting like the firebender.
The power you have. That's because of...
5. Katara and Sokka in Secret Tunnel Part 1 and Sokka and Katara vs. the Beast Bajamole Tunnel Part 2. Some of the greatest and worst moments occur in the tunnels. Minstrels are included to appease a certain fan base that is infatuated with the Secret Tunnel song.
harmony. That's what...
The tunnels probably aren't that bad.
While it's obviously fan service, it's done with sincere humor. It was a little frustrating that they seemed to speed through the major song in favor of an entrance song.
Declared the war over. After building, the great city was named. Love is brightest in the dark.
There's no such thing as angry spirit. Maps unclear, but I got a hunch. A feeling, an instinct. What do you like?
Shu utilized her earth-bending abilities to put a stop to the conflict and found the city of Omashu after Oma was killed in an attack. When the two brothers venture inside, they discover that the tunnels are moving because of Bajamoles, which reside there and have the ability to perceive emotions.
Guess we're not in Wolf Cove anymore, are we?
Imagine if Gran could see us now. With the hot bra.
I don't know. You're getting good at that.
And that's how those memories can hold you back. Jet might have gone down.
You know, side. I had something to offer the world.
You and Dad. Dad never had to bear that kind of burden alone.
The Badger Moles don't attack Sokka and Katara because of their love for one another, which leads them to the palace.
The tunnels are changing. I knew the crystals were wrong.
Would you imagine that? Katara, I'm sorry.
That's not what guided all my truth with dense feelings and react to them. I just in the dark.
Excuse me, Mr.
6. Bumi and Aang feast scene. Aang is escorted to meet the monarch, who Aang surmises is Bumi. Aang can sense Bumi is upset with him for disappearing for a century even though Bumi is throwing him a feast. Bumi attempts to remind Aang of their history together while also leading him into traps that he must avoid or escape from using airbending.
Tragedy. And it might, so I can save the waterbenders. Don't you care?
You dare? Have you watched your whole world burn? Maybe 100 years old? Have not these 100 years. Really?
7. Zuko saves Iroh from captivity. From Zuko's point of view, we can observe how Iroh treated him fairly and kindly when others didn't. Iroh accompanied Zuko after he was exiled until he found the Avatar. After Zuko succeeds in freeing his uncle from captivity, their sincere love for one another becomes clear, something that hasn't always been the case. 8. Aang vs Bumi Part 1. Bumi, who is remarkably in good form for a man over 100 years old, challenges Aang to a fight to the death near the final moments of the episode. In addition to being a little resentful that Aang wasn't present while the Fire Nation was being conquered, he is also attempting to make a point about the obligations of the Avatar. He's also just plain crazy.
I just wanted a bite. Who tested whether or not you were prepared to...
Challenges, games, tests, none that make any sense. Bumi, I know.
It's all about games with saving the world.
9. Zuko and Iroh vs Earthbender's military. From Zuko's point of view, we can observe how Iroh treated him fairly and kindly when others didn't. Iroh accompanied Zuko after he was exiled until he found the Avatar.
What are you doing here, Uncle?
Stay prepared. All the...
After Zuko succeeds in freeing his uncle from captivity, their sincere love for one another becomes clear, something that hasn't always been the case. Iroh leaves a white lotus pie show tile on the ground in the present, which Zuko discovers later and used to locate the Earth Kingdom warriors. When he frees Iroh, Iroh sustains injuries during the escape, while the two search for a boat and attempt to return to their ship. 10. Aang vs Bumi Part 2. Aang is challenged by Bumi to a death-defying battle.
Please do. Some of us, it means to be... You'd have known about that. You left us. Even your friends.
Aang confronts Bumi by himself, but this just in time provides a light-hearted Deus Ex Machina moment. Although Bumi's makeup doesn't precisely suit his age of over 100, it's a good decision that he doesn't come to life during a battle. In this rendition, his conflict with Aang is surprisingly expressed a bit more clearly. In less than a second, their victorious tumble down the delivery chutes flashes over the screen, sort of demonstrating the subpar CGI used in that idea.
Choices do I snatch? For the soldiers, you have to stay here, and that's just to save lives. And learn is due.
As Aang continues to dodge Bumi's blows, Katara and Sokka show up.
Well, kid, you sure know.
You cheated! Learn!
Rely on your friends. And
Think.
that really so bad. That's what I'm gonna do now. I wasn't you for the world.
Bumi forgives Aang after Aang reminds her of their previous relationship.
Wait. But we will in the city. Help us round them up.